There's a simple but powerful and precise technique for controlling gradient masks in Photoshop. First, let's make a gradient mask. You can apply a gradient mask to any adjustment layer or image layer. When you make an adjustment layer, a mask automatically appears. You may have to add this if you make a new image layer. Note that that mask initially appears as solid white, and to get the gradient, we'll use the gradient tool found here in the sidebar, or press the G key. With black as my foreground and white as my background, using the linear gradient, I draw from the foreground to the background, and I can constrain that to any degree of 45-degree angles, making the line between, or the angle, perfectly straight, here in this case perfectly vertical. This could be horizontal or diagonal as well. Note that the gradient has now appeared in the mask, resisting the adjustment to the image. Where it's darkest, you get less of the correction. Where it's lightest, you get more of the correction. To see the mask, you can Option or Alt-click on the mask, and that'll show you all the shades of gray. Now to adjust those shades of gray, we'll come under Image, Adjustments, and move to Curves, and the ultimate tool for control over luminosity in Photoshop. Note that this is not an adjustment layer that affects the background. This is a correction or adjustment that's applied directly to the mask, which is outlined here. By raising the curve, it lightens the mask, shifting the midpoint. By lowering it, it darkens the mask. It also shifts the midpoint, but in the opposite direction. You can raise the highlights and lower the shadows and increase the contrast of the mask. And the more you increase the contrast, the quicker or more abrupt the transition becomes. By holding the Shift key, you can activate more than one point, and moving it left or right, you can shift that midpoint up or down as you like. All of these points can be deactivated so that you can move just one, and you can readjust that contrast until you get the precise transitions that you're looking for. Furthermore, you can take the black point and raise it up, changing black to gray, or lower the white point, changing white to gray. You're essentially getting a gray to gray gradient. All of these shades of gray act as variable opacity, and within that more compressed range, you can further modify the contrast in between and where exactly those transitions fall. Now, I recommend that you not look at the mask while you're adjusting it, but instead look at the total effect of the adjustment through the mask to the background. So here, I'm just going to hit Command M, a key command well worth remembering, that just applies a curve directly to whatever you've targeted, in this case the gradient mask. And here, I'll just trim the contrast so that it affects the image in a way that I find pleasing. It's all about making the image look the way you want it to look. And here, we're gaining very precise control over how much of the adjustment is seen and how it transitions into the image. Again, there's no way that I would have known that I wanted to go from gray to gray in this specific set of transitions. You really have to see the total effect. And one more thing, once you've added contrast into a mask, it's very hard to take it out. By reducing contrast, all you end up doing is posterizing the mask. So, when in doubt, when you first draw that gradient, draw it long and smooth, and then you can come back in and with curves, readjust it, both in terms of the type of transition and where exactly those transitions fall. You can modify this almost indefinitely. With just that one kicker, you can't take contrast out. In that case, you might have to redraw the gradient. I hope you found this tip useful. If you have, pass it forward. Share this video with somebody. Teach this technique to somebody else. You'll find that in helping others, you strengthen your own skills.